From Star Television Network in Freetown, this is the National News Bulletin. Hello and welcome. I am Leonora Jawara. First, the headlines. The Institute of Governance Reform has on Friday, 12th April, launched its progress report on President Bio's 2018 election manifesto titled Grappling with Legacy.
21st century. So this is the bold statement made. It's in the forward. I think for this year, for this week or next week, what we are encouraging many media houses to do is to go back to the SLPP manifesto and then see the promises made and then the dashboard we are presenting.
In its quest to enhance awareness on the dangers of uncontrolled bush burning during dry season in the rural communities, the Environment Protection Agency Sierra Leone takes bushfire campaign to communities in Moyamba and Bo districts.
The animal they go, the bird and they go, we planted grow better. All this is a hazard to the environment and the forest. And we then for level we go protect that. Now that's bring we need say protection agency. And we don't do this work.
The Office of the Mayor of Freetown has launched the Speaker Series plan under the Transform Freetown mandate, which is aimed at job creation under the tourism sector at the Leisure Lodge Conference Room, Aberdeen in Freetown.
What has brought the difference? One of the key changes that Freetown has experienced has been the rapid level of urbanization, the growth in the population. Now that happens in most cities. We're not an exception. But what is important is how that growth happens.
The Prince of Wales Secondary School has on Thursday, 11th April, celebrated its 94th year anniversary at the school campus in Freetown. And in sports, the president of the Sierra Leone Taekwondo Association, Wallace Johnson, has called on the government of Sierra Leone and the NOC to give more support to the discipline. All these making the headlines. And now the news in detail. The Institute of Governance Reform, IGR, has on Friday, 12 April 2019, launched its progress report on President Bio's 2018 election manifesto titled Grappling with Legacy. The report aims to create a platform for constructive dialogue that will enhance the responsiveness of government to meet the needs of the people. It captures 556 promises from the SLPP manifesto, with citizens' expectation, namely the state of the economy, health, infrastructure, energy, and job creation. Let's have more in this report.
In many countries around the world, politicians are dubbed as liars. They say things that they do not commit to. So the Biometer is the very first initiative that is saying, you know what, let us see how people's feet can be held to fire for commitment they made through campaign. So this is a way of people asking for what they voted for. So how those questions can be answered. Let me just remind you, for those of you who have not read the SLPP manifesto, this is in the forward of President Bio's manifesto. So the entire manifesto commitment is going to be measured by this statement. President Bio defined a new direction. This is his exact quote. He said, a new direction for Sierra Leone as a united, peaceful, progressive, dynamic, confident, enterprising, and happy nation where people have limitless access to jobs, food, education, and health services, and where there is equal justice and equal opportunity for all. You know the rest. So we will transform Sierra Leone into a middle-income country by the 21st century. So this is the bold statement made. It's in the forward. I think for this year, for this week or next week, what we are encouraging many media houses to do is to go back to the SLPP manifesto and then see the promises made and then the dashboard we are presenting. In terms of the scope and method, we actually try to build on the first assessment we did in the first 100 days. The first assessment that we did, and we say thank you to the media. They've actually joined in with us to roll out the biometer, sharing the first 100 days promise. And you can see that the first 100 days results had a lot of limitations. It was largely this. One of the criticism we had for the first 100 days. Who did you ask? How did you arrive at this? So those questions are now being addressed by this second iteration. And for this second iteration, 556 promises were made by President Bio. We are tracking the 556 promises made in the official manifesto and the state opening address and some executive orders made during his tenure. To do this, we spoke to 1,920 citizens representing chiefdoms, constituencies, and districts and regions across Sierra Leone. Randomly selected, statistically representative of all citizens across the country. And we spoke to 85 experts. Actually, the experts evaluated President Bio, and the citizens spoke about their experiences since the tenure. There are many questions you cannot bore citizens with. So for the first time, and we can say congratulations to government, for the first time, we had a shadow scoring where 76% of MDAs, government, ministries, departments, and agencies actually scored themselves. So we clustered experts, about 3 to 5 experts per sector. And then for each sector, there was a shadow scoring that was done by the MDA in that sector. So at the end of the day, the MDA scoring was useful, not to, it was not included as part of the scoring, but it was useful to guide. First and foremost, we needed to understand the ability to self-assess within the MDAs. And secondly, we actually wanted to know how do MDAs view themselves, and it will be useful. At the end of this exercise, we'll be talking to some experts as to whether we can share some of their feedback to the MDAs.
Now, in its quest to enhance awareness on the dangers of uncontrolled bush burning during dry season in the rural communities, the Environment Protection Agency, Sierra Leone, takes bushfire campaign to communities in Moyamba and Bo districts. Creative Thomas reports.
The Environment Protection Agency of Sierra Leone had championed an awareness-raising campaign to rural communities across the country.
We welcome on the Environment Protection Agency when they on our office of the president. We come for council and say, now una responsibility, now we responsibility for ensuring we protect Mama Salone. Not only for me and you two now, but for even the one that will not born yet, so they can, let's say for their better place for them. We prepare the way to do so. Then will be a witness say 10, 20 years ago, the place cannot be the one like how we the one so.
The sensitization and awareness-raising campaign was done at night and involved presentations of messages on the environment and wild bush burning, as well as video screening in Moyamba Junction, in the Moyamba district, Bumpegao, and Jeung.
First thing, you see monkey and they pass down area, they see them so. But I know they will see monkey because we don't grab them all. By way activity. Would they hit the fire, the animal they go, the bird and they go, we planted grow better. All this is a hazard to the environment and the forest. And we then for let we go protect that. Now that's bring we name and say protection agency. And we don't do this work in isolation. So we then for let we and when affect is fed.
The Deputy Director of National Resources Management, Ramatu Masakoil, during the meeting with the community stakeholder, spoke about the importance of the environment and the effects of wild bushfire on the environment. On her part, the Assistant Head of Information, Education and Communication Department, Fatima Bakar Sise, also spoke about the effects of bushfire in the environment and reiterated the mandate of the agency, which was created to help promote environmental issues in the country.
when we talk about the environment, we talk about the mortal man them, the animals them, the plantation, the water, and even the breeze set what we dey blow. All them here we put together, now we dey call environment. But we mortal man, with activities then, the thing that we don dey do now to this environment, it don't begin to spoil the environment. And the environment, how you hold am, na so it dey hold you. If you hold am fine, it dey hold you fine. But if you don't hold am fine, when it dey patter you, na disaster, na it dey happen.
In all the villages where the awareness and sensitization were done, the community people were happy to receive the information on wild bush fire and promised to implement the bylaws in order to add to the efforts of the agency in helping them to protect their communities from the destruction of their homes and properties through wildfires.
One, I sensitize the people then, say about the environment. Two, now for inform the people then, because first thing, we want one farm, they inform people then say, I want one farm. Therefore, we are going to make fire beds around the town for protect the town, so that when the fire burn, you know, you can't enter the town. Three, now for make bylaws. For say, a person tree hit fire number 55 as we want, we put the bylaw, then find the perpetrator.
However, a woman in Jerung village gave her opinion on how the government can help communities.
If they able to bring some things that so we're able to make them go, the people that go able to gather, the thing that we don't go down cut, I think that could be better. But if I go tell somebody say no more your family, when I eat it be the bone. Meanwhile, now in one grain they bring family, you know strong. For let you able to go gather that stick, they take time they bitter. So because of this, let the government help. How they go able to push them this thing instead of for stop, because now they being shared.
For Star News in Freetown, I am Adma Samai reporting.
You're still watching the news bulletin here on Star TV. The Office of the Mayor of Freetown has launched the Speaker Series plan under the Transform Freetown mandate, which is aimed at job creation under the tourism sector at the Leisure Lodge Conference Room, Aberdeen in Freetown. Moses Ojo-Kamara has more.
The Office of the Mayor of Freetown on the 9th April launched the Speaker Series plan under the Transform Freetown mandate, which was aimed at job creation under the tourism sector at the Leisure Lodge Conference Room, Aberdeen in Freetown. The Mayor of Freetown, Yvonne Akisoya, speaking about her aspirations and aims in the launching of the Speaker Series that is aimed at creating jobs for the people, particularly the youth in the Transform Freetown plan. She stated that Freetown used to be much more than what it is now and has the potential to be much more than anticipated. Furthering that, if we want tourists to come into our city and make it a wonderful place for us, we must first work on improving ourselves as a people.
Probably to you, Freetown is just Freetown. But Freetown actually has the potential to be much more. It used to be more, and it can be more going forward. What has brought the difference? One of the key changes that Freetown has experienced has been the rapid level of urbanization, the growth in the population. Now that happens in most cities. We're not an exception. But what is important is how that growth happens. Whether it's controlled growth or uncontrolled growth. Whether, as in some cities, housing estates are put in place, they're actually established, so you have areas that have the roads already laid out. Like I was in Kigali recently, and you go, it's a growing city. But you see that they have areas for new developments, even before people live there. They put the road, they put the electricity, they put the water. So when the houses are being built, it's being built in accordance with the plan.
Mayor Yvonne Akisoya noted that one of the key factors that has hindered the growth and development of the city is the aspect of the unplanned nature of the capital, adding that the beauty of the city is our greatest asset.
One of the challenges or key challenges that Freetown has experienced is that the growth has not been planned. And as a consequence, it's had a serious impact on our environment. We've had a lot of people coming into the city and finding a home for themselves, either in the hills or along the coast. And that's brought a destruction to the environment, but also potentially to the industry that you want to be a part of. Because people are coming to Freetown to see a beautiful city, and the beauty of a city can actually be lost. Do you agree with me? Yes. What was there can actually disappear.
The Chief Executive Officer of Leisure Lodge Hotel, Tamba Aliyu Kokobe, gave a public lecture on hotels and how hoteliering has promoted tourism all over the world, and further went on to tell his story and experience in the field of hoteliering and his strides to success.
The first place I visited to work was the Bintumani Hotel at that time. I went to the Bintumani. I knew the general manager very well, but fortunately or unfortunately, the manager was not on the seat at that time, and I didn't want to wait, and I was not really that eager for work. So I said, oh no, I'll come back. Then I went to the St. Michael's Lodge. The St. Michael's Lodge was a purely tourist hotel built by the French people. So I went there, I met with the manager, gave him my papers. That was around 10 going to 11 going to 12 in the afternoon. Guess what he told me? Mr. Man, you're going nowhere. Start working today. That's how it all happened. Start working today, you're going nowhere, your papers and everything. I'm going to give you a letter of appointment and everything. Start working today. Ask my F&B person, work for me in the restaurant.
Mr. Fodiba Dabo, Director General of the Sierra Leone Local Content Agency, congratulated the Mayor of Freetown City Council on her successes, noting that the Transform Freetown is not just the business of the Mayor's office, but collectively, we can change the city for the better.
Too many messages to take home, but few of them I will just highlight, reiterate, so that you cannot leave here this evening without saying, okay, how can we ensure as a Sierra Leonean we join the Mayor to transform Freetown? This is all inclusive. I mean, it is not only the Mayor's work. As a matter of fact, I will say, because of her visionary leadership, she has already transformed Freetown.
He reiterated that the Mayor of Freetown has already transformed Freetown through her visionary leadership. For Star TV News, I am Moses Ojukamara reporting.
Now, past and present pupils of the Prince of Wales Secondary School has on Thursday, 11th April, celebrated the school's 94th year anniversary, of which the Managing Director of the Rokel Commercial Bank, Dr. Ekundayo Walton Gilpin, was guest speaker during the occasion. Let's have a look.
Of the school, and I believe that it's a school that does send forth through a gentleman and it does stand on firmer ground. I believe that we as Prince Williams have set a niche in the sense of time, and we have the whole world resonating when they hear about us coming by. No matter how slow you go, as long as you don't stop, you'll get there. We ain't going slow, we're going to pick up speed, and we are going to be sure that as Prince Williams, as Sierra Leoneans, we're going to trigger and interrogate what we call posterity. We're going to make sure that when we rise up, when we move, the dust we leave behind is the dust of quality, the dust people want to compare with, and the dust that will stand the test of time. Because we don't look at things in the normal way. We can bring things out that always have an inner meaning to it. And that's what I want to train you guys in doing, to rise up above the average, not to be mediocre. Don't be content with being where you are. Always look forward to rising up and being excellent, being above normal, and making your footprint stand in the times of time. If you look at things the normal way, you have contributed nothing much in life. Remember, you have to be different. You have to be a change agent. You have to be dynamic. And that is what makes you as young guys become resilient and become change agents and difference makers. It pulls you out from amongst the rest. As Prince Williams, remember, you must be the change that the world has to see. As Prince Williams, you must be the change that Sierra Leone is expecting. As Prince Williams, you must be the change that the government is expecting. As Prince Williams, you must be the change your family is expecting. And that change is for you, and you, not for anyone else, but for yourself as you progress in life. I believe and I have a dream that give me a school that is actually a school that is formed with a vision to create men. Give me a school that is formed to stand up to storms. Give me a school that wants to rise up and sail above the storm like an eagle, and you will give me the Prince of Wales School. I can tell you that if you do not see what God has put in this school, then you're blind from the spiritual side in life. You need to go for prayers to the most versatile and any job that you can find. Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make all the mistakes in the world. So learn from the mistakes of others. Where we've made mistakes, we're going to learn them. We're going to learn from that and we're going to correct it. We have our brothers in Bo. I call it Bo School. How many of us know Bo School here? And one thing I found out when I was in Bo School, the senior prefect is called Abdul Madabio. So when they say, I'm senior prefect, the whole school goes, Madabio. And you see the guy walking up, you know, with all the pomp. He's actually called Madabio. But the bottom line is that, what are you going to be known for? The Bo School is known for being politically engineered. Prince of Wales School, what are you known for? What are you known for? The science, the academia, the legal. We are known for excellence. We are known for excellence. We always go out there and we stand up and we stand the test of time.
And to round up a news bulletin, let's see what's happening in the sporting world. As the president of the Sierra Leone Taekwondo Association, Warnes Johnson, has called on the government of Sierra Leone and the NOC to give more support to the discipline. Hilton John, our sports correspondent, has more.
About Johnson, President Sierra Leone Taekwondo Association. Yeah, this time around, as an association, we know how the government put interest in sport and how the government decide to develop all sporting discipline we're ready to push. I just want to say, if you look in sporting discipline ready for push in this country, and Taekwondo is one of the associations. So this time around, we call on the National Sports Council, Ministry of Sport, the National Olympic Committee, and let's see how they will come around to develop the sport, and especially Taekwondo, at the top on behalf of Taekwondo. Because this time around, we want to see how we will designate the sport like different in the regions. As now we don't know Kenema, we don't know Makini, we don't know Bo, and we see that how we will make a regional competition and regional seminars. And I just believe say this is one of the good things the president, we I believe say, one for me see the sporting discipline in the world about, and I believe say that listing government will do so and the president is ready for push. And me at the ask on behalf of the association, make una come out, the Ministry of Sport, the National Olympic Committee, say how they will well as young sport and a sport where they try to do well.
And that's a Star News here on Channel 21. Thank you for watching. I am Leonora Jawara. Do have yourself a wonderful weekend.